Welcome back, everybody. And seriously, it is back because we've just been so sporadic with our recording and our scheduling the past several weeks. But this is the Box Office Dynasty, and I'm Josh.
I'm Jack.
And we're here with another episode and a lot to catch up on that we missed. How you doing, Jack?
I'm doing good. I missed you, buddy.
I missed you too.
You were gone away.
This time it was my turn. It was no cruise to Bermuda. I'll say that much.
No, it's a cruise to Pittsburgh.
It was a lot of fun. Yes, Pittsburgh, Chicago, Detroit, Cleveland, a lot of Midwestern. But you know what I will say? Sitting up on Lakeshore Drive, hanging out by Lake Michigan on Labor Day weekend, it was really nice weather. It was really cool. Seeing Wrigley Field for the first time. I'm a big baseball fan. Look at I got the Field of Dreams shirt on.
That's sick. That field's on my list, man. Like, that's my number one field I want to go see.
And you know what? Let me tell you, Jack, it is as magical as it's said to be. It was truly, I'll tell you this. I went on Labor Day with my dad, so it was obviously packed because everyone's off of work locally in the area and everywhere. And the Cubs were playing the Braves, and the Braves got out to an early 6-1 lead, and I was like, oh boy, am I going to see the Cubs get blown out here? Like, that kind of stinks. And obviously I'm a Yankees fan, but my National League team is the Cubs. I just love all of the Chicago sports teams in town. I think it's a cool vibe there.
I feel like if you don't have stakes in the game, you got to root for the home team that you're at.
Yeah, I totally agree. And like the other Chicago stadium, Rate Field, home of the White Sox, where nobody in town there gives a shit about them. They were playing the Yankees. They happen to be. And so, obviously I was rooting for the Yankees and they lost. But the Cubs down 6-1, they came back in dramatic fashion and won in extra innings 7-6. And it was really cool. And they do this whole thing where they sing a song and raise a flag. That's, the W flag. And it's just this really great vibe there. And it's unlike any park that I've been to. And I've been to like 9 or 10 of the current ones now. I've been to old ones too, but I've been to like 9 or 10 of the current ballparks. And Wrigley's number one. That was a special experience.
Dude. I've only been to 4.
Yeah. What 4 have you been to? Yankee Stadium, Citi Field,
Camden Yards, Fenway.
Okay. I've been to Fenway as well. I've never been to Camden Yards.
Camden's my favorite.
Soon. Fenway was my favorite at one point, but now it is Wrigley at 1. And PNC Park in Pittsburgh, too. I was just showing you this before we got on the episode. The view there on the Allegheny River with the Roberto Clemente Bridge and the Pittsburgh skyline is unbeaten. And you know what was cool about this trip is all the home teams won. They were 5-0.
That's cool. You got to respect that.
So I got to see what every home team on this trip's like win experience was like.
I'm glad to have you back. It sucks because summer is over. And it sucks for us and for everybody, but there's a pro to this. We're not going away anymore. We will be back to our regularly scheduled programming here at the Box Office Dynasty. Now that you and I are here for a little bit, no more
as
vacations.
Of now at least, but yeah, I think
until we are.
I think we have utilized our vacation days at work.
Boss isn't gonna let us have any more days.
Yeah, no, we are locked in like it's a dungeon. But you know what is also great about the end of summer is it means it's the start of fall soon, and with that, and I know it's like technically still summer, but I mean,
summer shouldn't go till September 21st.
When the calendar flips to September, you start to get into that fall mindset, and with film and television, that means there's a lot coming in the horizon. We talk about August kind of being a slow time. Well, hey, things are about to speed up for us here at the Box Office Dynasty, and that starts with today's episode because we weren't here last week, so we missed a lot, so we have a lot to get to. First, we're picking a new Bible study film. Let's fucking go. I love that. It's so awesome.
I forgot my book. You keep talking. I'll be back.
The panic on his face. I could keep talking, but I could also say anything I want. I love Jack so much. Look at him with the book. Oh, the letterbox hat. It's really beautiful. What a gentleman. And so anyway, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about the box office numbers for this past weekend. And then we're going to review some films that came out, Caught Stealing, and then the new Conjuring film, as well as the re-release of Jaws. We're going to get a little bit into the 50th anniversary of Steven Spielberg's Jaws. Then we're going to talk about some trailers to a new movie. We're going to talk about some film updates that we got recently. Then we're going to get a little bit into the news around Saturday Night Live to wrap things up. So we got a jam-packed
Big
episode,
news
and
coming.
I think we just got to get right into it.
I think you're right. I think we hop in.
So first things first, Jack. Obviously, you went skedaddling to get your film Bible. You forgot it.
Yes, sir.
There it is. I have mine, and we always talk about what this segment is. Bible study. Basically, you guys comment numbers on our social media and different posts. The numbers correspond with the films in this book, and it's like 23 to 1265, and we pick one of those, we spin a wheel, we pick it, and we watch the movie that corresponds with that number from the book, and then we review it right here on the podcast. It's a lot of fun. Last time we watched Fat City, and it wasn't all that it was chalked up to be, but it was still good.
I'm glad we watched it. I didn't love it, but we watched it, and now,
Now we're going to watch something new. And
yeah, you guys have been commenting. Like, we have a lot of numbers to get through, and every number, like, if you comment a number, we fucking love you. Like,
yeah.
I love seeing a new Bible study number pop up.
And let me tell you, we're not stopping this segment anytime soon. And in special occasions, we may do more than one roll even. It's always possible down the line. We're doing one today, but it's always possible. And so we want to get to as many, if not all of these as possible. So please keep commenting.
Yeah.
We're movie watchers. That means we're going to watch movies. So I have the wheel with the numbers. And Jack, are we ready to pick a new Bible study film? This is so exciting. Let's go. I am spinning.
Wheel is spinning. Ladies and gentlemen, the wheel is spinning.
Okay. We have a number. Let me just get my book open. I'll tell you, we'll get it. We'll both get it up here. The winning number is 56.
Ooh, we're going low.
We're going to the beginning.
Interesting.
Is it? Okay. Are we ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
The next film that we are watching for this segment is The Americanization of Emily.
Let me see what that's about.
Yeah, no, let's look this up. Let's check this out.
The Americanization of Emily came out in 1964, directed by Arthur Hiller. And on Letterboxd, at least, the tagline is, "Why did Emily call Charlie the most immoral man she'd ever met? American sailor Charlie Madison falls for a pretty Englishwoman while trying to avoid a senseless and dangerous D-Day mission concocted by a deranged admiral." That sounds fucking cool, I'm not gonna lie.
Interesting. And I really like this poster on Letterboxd too.
Yeah, it is. This is pretty sweet, actually.
And it's starring James Garner and a young Julie Andrews. So that should be pretty interesting.
Julie Andrews. Yeah, you may know her as the queen from Shrek 2.
Okay. I would have said The Sound of Music or something, but that works too. So The Americanization of Emily, number 56. Thank you to whoever commented that, and thank you to everyone who commented. Keep on commenting. We love to see it. So
we'll be reviewing this movie next week, and then the week after we'll pick up the Bible study number.
2 episodes. Don't lie to the people.
Oh shit, you're right. Yeah,
Don't lie to the people. What the fuck is wrong with you? What the hell? In 2 episodes, we will be reviewing The Americanization of Emily. That's
You're
what
gone for a week, and I forget how we work.
Yeah, man. I was gone for 1 week. You were gone for 1 week, and suddenly everything is up in flames.
Wait, we don't review it the next episode?
No, we skip a week. Oh my god. I'll explain it to you
I can't
right here
remember
on the
how this podcast works.
Jack, we review a film, then the next week we pick a film, and then we're off. It's a cycle. It's a 3-week cycle, remember? Review, pick, off. It's just, it got thrown off because, and I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Because we got thrown off because we reviewed it 2 weeks ago
My
because
my cycle's
we had a
off,
whole
man.
week off. Yeah, your cycle is off. My cycle's off. But
Yeah.
we're getting this train back on the tracks here this week.
We need to sync our cycles
And,
up together.
You know, I think the Beatles had all their cycles synced up together. If
For
I'm
real?
not, yeah, I don't know
Word. Oh yeah, they did.
So
We're
anyway, in
both
2
trying to make terrible
episodes,
jokes.
we will watch the Americanization of Emily.
Sounds good to me. Sounds good, boss.
You got that? All right. So next is the box office numbers. Obviously, one of the fan favorites of the show. And we did miss a week. Well, we will be reviewing the box office numbers from the weekend of September 5th through the 7th. So this past weekend. In 5th place in its second weekend of release, making $3.2 million domestically, Caught Stealing, which we are going to review today. We're very excited. Obviously, we missed its opening weekend. And I will tell you what it did for its opening weekend, which was Labor Day, and it finished in 4th place, making $7.8 million. So, not great for its opening weekend
low.
on a holiday weekend at that. But it does maintain a spot in the top 5 in its second weekend. In 4th place in its 5th weekend is Disney's Freakier Friday, making another $3.8 million. In 3rd place, this is in its 5th weekend of release as well, making $5.3 million more dollars, is Weapons. Jack, your take about Weapons from last episode didn't do too well online.
People disagree, man. That's all right. I got so much hate for that.
Yeah, well,
that was crazy.
I kind of get it. I'm just saying.
Some of the comments like, do you really have the media analysis skills to be reviewing movies like this?
Yeah, the media literacy. That was crazy. I saw that today.
I just didn't like the ending of the movie.
Oh, that's so funny. The internet stays undefeated.
It's always, every clip is one of us getting fucking roasted.
You know what? I do feel like it's more often me somehow, so it was kind of nice for it to be you for a change.
Yeah, that's what it is.
No offense, but
that's fair. That's fine.
In 2nd place in its opening weekend of re-release, making $10 million, is Hamilton, Disney's imagining of it as a film. I don't know if we saw it together, actually, when it came out on Disney Plus. They're putting it in theaters, or they did put it in theaters, I should say. And so Hamilton came in 2nd place. Look at that. I mean, it goes to show people still love it.
I love it.
And in 1st place, making $83 million on its opening weekend, is The Conjuring Last Rites, which is supposedly the final film of the Conjuring franchise. And this was a pretty massive opening for this franchise, I will say. It actually, so that's its domestic opening, but it earned $194 million globally in its opening weekend, which is the largest global opening weekend for a horror movie ever.
That's crazy.
Ever is The Conjuring Last Rites. So it goes to show the strength of this franchise. And on top of that, we were talking when Weapons came out about Warner Bros. Having 6 straight films that opened to $83 million or more in the North American box office. Now, for the first time ever, Warner Bros. Has 7 movies that debuted with this in a row. And it's the first time it happened in Hollywood history. It had Minecraft, which opened to 100. So actually, what debuted above 40 million in the North American box office is what it is. Okay. Minecraft, 162 million. Sinners, 48. Final Destination, 51.6. F1, 57. Superman, 125. Weapons, 43.5. And The Conjuring Last Rites, 83. So they are actually on a great roll right now with opening weekends.
I know we'll talk about Conjuring it a little bit, but horror movies this year have been going off at the box office and with the ratings as well. Like starting off with Sinners, then going to Weapons, and now The Conjuring. Like, this is a good year for horror movie fans.
And it goes even beyond that. We've had so many. There's like Companion. There was Final Destination.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I could go on, really, but we are getting a lot of incredible horror, not just this year, but the last few years. I really think there has been a renaissance in the genre. and it's reflecting in it both artistically and financially, and I think that's a win-win for everybody. And so you love to see the support. And sure, like you said, we're going to talk about The Conjuring Last Rites in a little bit. Was it a sinner's weapons kind of film? No. Like, spoiler alert for my opinion, no. But still, to see this success for a genre that is historically so underappreciated and financially limited, it's just awesome to me as a big fan of it, and to a lot of people out there, I'm sure, to see it have this sustained success, both artistically and financially, because it means we'll get more ambitious horror films in the future. And that's what we like to see. I think everybody, even if you don't love horror, is to see filmmakers be able to take original, ambitious steps and have it come out and have studios not feel afraid about doing that. That's all we want, I'm sure.
I'm down for that.
So those are your box office numbers from the weekend of September 5th through the 7th. And congratulations to The Conjuring Last Rites. And we'll get to that in a little bit. But first, we'll get to the movie that didn't finish first, that actually finished 5th. And that is Caught Stealing, which we both saw. You actually saw it before I did.
Yes, sir.
And so we could just say that's a good way for you to give your rating first on the movie. However,
or
we have a friend that we usually bring out from time to time, and his name is Martin Van Buren. He's the 8th president of the United States. And Martin's here. It's right here. Not going anywhere. But in my travels, Marty and we found a hitchhiker on the side of the road. And we picked him up. And we said, "Hey, buddy, where you going?" He said, "Pal, I'm headed to the nation's capital because I am the 9th president of the United States of America, William Henry Harrison."
Okay. Doesn't he have the shortest term?
Has joined the party. Yes, he does actually have the shortest term, putting your history degrees to work there flexing them. He served like 31 days because he got fucking pneumonia during his inauguration. And it was like the longest inaugural address in history during a blizzard. And the fucking idiot didn't wear a jacket. He's like, "Hey, I'm built different, bitch."
He sets records. 31 days. That's pretty impressive.
That is pretty impressive. And you know what? Now he gets to be the deciding factor today.
He's immortalized in this episode.
Marty is here, but he is going to step aside. We have a new friend who's going to be doing this. So now we have the 8th and 9th presidents of the United States.
We got Marty and Willie
podcast. We have Marty and we got Willie, and Willie's going to decide. So I will let you pick heads or tails for, I guess, going first.
We got to go heads.
Yeah, for Willie losing his head with fucking pneumonia.
His head getting chopped off.
Heads it is. All right,
I feel like it's
Jack.
always heads. It's 50-50, but it's always heads.
You know what it is? It's because it's their presidents, and they don't want to fucking land on their fucking tails. If
it was Bill Clinton, he'd be getting head underneath the table.
That's true. It'd like land, and we'd see like a desk with Monica Lewinsky's ass just sticking out from underneath. Please don't sue us for libel. All right, anyway, So now, Jack, you'll start with your rating. There was really no need to do that. I was just trying to find a spot to introduce William Henry Harrison onto this podcast. All right, Jack, so let's talk about Caught Stealing.
I'll start us off. Here's our ratings and reviews for the new movie Caught Stealing. I give it 7 bad bunnies out of 10.
I give it 9 matzo ball soups out of 10. So there's a little bit of distance, but I think there's a level of appreciation for what we used. Bad bunny, matzo ball soup.
We're not going to be talking about this movie for too long. I think we could just jump into spoilers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just, most of the time that's the case these days, like spoilers. Because we'll say like no spoilers, release. And then we'll start accidentally spoiling shit anyway. So
this is spoilers for Caught Stealing ahead. What did you love about this movie? Why are you at a 9?
Well, I don't know how many of Darren Aronofsky's films you've seen before, but to be honest with you, I just had a ton of fun with this. This was one of the 2 movies I saw during my trip. I saw this in like this random like local theater in the outskirts of Detroit. And it was literally just like me and some dude in the theater, and the dude was like looking under the seats for coins the whole time. And so, like,
Okay.
I'm not even like kidding. So, like, I was basically just me in the
He
theater.
was looking
I
for
don't
Marty
know.
and Willie.
He was looking for Marty and Willie, and I was keeping them safe and sound back in the
Yeah.
hotel room. I wasn't letting any. They were like tucked in bed for the night. Um, but you know, I don't know. Like, I thought I had a blast. You know what I mean? Like, I was going along for this ride. I thought the movie introduced some really interesting characters, and then I thought it was well written because I thought it took twists that I genuinely wasn't expecting, and I thought that Aronofsky was able to keep those coming one after another, and I think it kept the story, you know, kind of like spinning on its head or tail a little bit, no pun intended, but like it really kept me for a loop, which is kind of hard to do a lot of times. And I wasn't totally reading things at times. Like, we're getting right into spoilers, so I'm going to start with the big one, like Zoe Kravitz, right?
Yeah, that was
When
a
they
shock.
kill her off,
That was a
total
shock.
shock to me. Like, I'm like, okay, you know, and I didn't love it at first because we lose her, but I do think the way they use that to slingshot the rest of the kind of emotional arc for Austin Butler throughout the third act, the rest of the second act and into the third act of the story, I thought it was pulled off very well, and it continues to do so with more twists that came in the story, and it just kept me on my toes. I was very interested. I thought Austin Butler played it very well. I think he's one of
Yeah,
the
he was
top
great.
options as a lead actor.
He was fantastic.
And I loved the supporting cast around him. So I had a lot of fun.
I did like the cast. I liked the acting. I had a couple. I'll tell you what I loved first. The main thing that I loved was the ending. I thought the ending was fantastic when he's in the car and the guy pulls out the lighter and it's Zoe Kravitz's lighter. That suspenseful feeling that I felt, like I was just, my heart dropped and I was like, oh fuck. That was an awesome moment for me, and that ending brought me up like an entire point. I thought
And
that
that's
ending
what I
was
just want to
fantastic.
say before you move on to your next point, since you bring that up. That to me, like, further cements the decision to kill off Kravitz's character
Yeah.
earlier on, like, as a good decision, even though we want to see Zoe Kravitz. She's one of the main pulls of going to the movie. Not about the quantity of her screen time, but the quality and the way they used her character, and it works. And that final scene is super impactful, and there's no other character that they really could have used in that moment, in that sacrifice, than
No.
her. And so, like, I liked that ending too, to your point, because it cemented that.
And
me.
it brings him back to the car crash that he had in the beginning with his friend. He has a seatbelt on. They don't have their seatbelts on. I knew what was gonna happen, and it wasn't like, oh, I know what's gonna happen. I was like, dude,
No,
I know what's gonna
it
happen.
was leading to that.
It was very obviously he was just gonna fucking crash the car right then.
It was one of those moments where everything kind of clicks together, and you're like, this is what it's been building towards. This is what has to happen. Yes, I know it's about to happen, but that's the point. Like, okay, I'm seeing it all now.
Right. So I liked Zoe Kravitz's death, which that's kind of fucked up. If she dies, and this clip is played somewhere.
Yeah, they're all gonna be coming after you. Like, bro, what the fuck did Zoe do?
I liked when they killed her character. It was a shock. It played into the story and the narrative very well. They used it very well. But I felt like a downside was Austin Butler had no time to breathe. I get that this movie is exhilarating every time something's happening every 5 minutes, and it's cool. You're watching, it's intense, but he cries for about 10 seconds, and then that's his reaction. And then like something else happens, and he gets like attacked by these people, and he has no time to react because then something else happens, and he doesn't. There's no weight of any of this because the British guy dies, and he doesn't have time to react. This guy, the cop betrays him, he doesn't have time to react. His boss gets fucking killed, and doesn't have time to react. All these people around him are dying, and he just moves on to the next person that's close to him that will die. Like, I wanted to see him sit there and be sad and be angry and like deal with it, instead of just kind of moving on to the next action scene or the next fight scene or the next him versus the bad guys.
I hear your point, but I don't agree, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
It's because, one, you described the ending before. I think that weight does come back at the end. Like, I don't think that they
But just for her, nobody else
disappeared.
around
No,
him.
but you do see flashes popping up of like different things. But also, I feel like have you ever seen the movie After Hours, Martin Scorsese?
No.
It's this film about this guy who's just trying to get home after a long day in New York City, and he's kind of like stuck ping-ponging all around to crazy things that keep happening, and he can't get home. And Caught Stealing is supposed to like emulate that kind of energy in film, to where he yes, he wants to process what's going on around as much as the audience wants to see him do it, and he can't, because he is stuck in this kind of like downward spiraling situation. And he can't stop himself, like he's grasping onto the sides, but there's nothing to hold on to. He has no brakes. There is no way for him to stop for a moment, because the situation itself is kind of moving on its own. He has no control over it. And so I feel like I understand maybe wanting another moment or two in the movie, but to have him really sit and focus on all these moments of death around him, I think would take away from the point of it being this really bad, like, day, or like in this movie's case, it's not like After Hours where it's one day. It's like, I guess, a week or whatever, like a series of
Couple
days.
days,
It's a
yeah.
few days, like it's supposed to. I feel like it would take away from that kind of like, oh my God, everything is really rushing so fast. There's no processing for him or us because of how quickly the situation is spiraling out of control. Like, that's the point.
That makes sense. Like, I don't mean to like take away from the pacing of it, but like there's moments when, he goes to the bar, he basically gets his boss and his buddy at the bar killed because he's the one who gave him the key and did
But
all
yeah,
the
I mean,
shit.
there's no way. I'm not saying doesn't have any responsibility.
Right. But so he gets these people killed that he was close to, and they established at the beginning that he's like close to these people. And then the next scene is him walking home. And then he finds out that the homeless guy's wearing the pants and he has the key in it. Remember that?
Yeah.
But how long is that walk that they couldn't show in a minute of him walking, and maybe him like just being sad while he's walking, or being angry, being like, oh fuck, what the fuck, oh fuck, and like just anything like that for like 30 seconds walking home just to react. It's just, my boss and my friend died. Hey man, give me that key I had. Like, it's kind of just strange.
I
Like,
get
he
it.
walked the whole way and they didn't show us anything of
He
him like
did have that
reacting.
one scene where he was yelling like they killed, whatever the fuck his name was, and this and that. And
Wait,
when he
which
was
guy?
back at I don't remember the name of the character. I think when they killed one of the friends at the bar, and he's like back at the apartment, and he was like yelling at Matt Smith's character like they killed blah blah blah.
That's true. He did do that. He said they killed the girl and they killed Tony and the guy. Like,
yeah. So like, I mean, that's what I'm saying. We see.
I could have used one more of those at least.
And I get that. I just, how much of a point for you does that bring it down that there's just not one more of that, when the whole point of the movie is for it to be like kind of clicking, oh man, he has no control of this situation. Like, he can't process it, so how can we process it, the audience? Because like,
I get
this is
that.
all happening so quick.
It is kind of a nitpick, but it did bring me down like a decent amount just because of how many people die. And it's like, it kind of just started to feel like they're dying to just die. Instead of dying to like move his character forward or move the plot forward, they just die.
I just think in this case, the character, because like I get that is valid. I just think, like, obviously Zoe Kravitz, she dies, it's for his character. But a lot of the characters that die around him, it's not so much just pushing his character arc in individual relationship ways with these characters, so much as that's one less avenue out of this situation for him. Like, he is getting further and further trapped. And the more that the film cut off people that he can go to for help or to put this on or whatever.
It's a good point. Because he does go. The reason all the people are dead because he goes to them.
He's trying to get out. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, by killing all of them off, like, you're right, it's a lot. And I felt that too. But I do think the purpose behind it works. Whereas, like, oh, he is trapped. Like, especially once they kill off Matt Smith's character, which he was going to pin everything on him. All the other deaths. Yeah. Like, he's like, just looking at him and you're saying, this guy's like fucked. Like, how's he going to get out of this without him now? So I feel like there was purpose to it.
And then you mentioned something about the twists. Like I said before, the ending twist with the two Jewish guys and the lighter, that was sick. I thought that was great. I really didn't expect that because they were so nice to him. But the twist with the cop, I was convinced the entire movie that she was going to betray him because I was like, this is too easy. Like, I expected that, and it's fine to expect that. But then I started to think, wait, is she not going to betray him? Because then that's the twist, that she doesn't betray him? Because I was like, there's got to be something. And then she betrays him. I was like, oh, that's what I expected the whole time. And I think it was a little too early also.
I don't think it was too early because of the way that it kept coming with more punches after that. You know what I mean? Of surprises. Like the way it kind of played into um the plot, the rest of the plot, setting up this showdown between the Jewish gang and the Puerto Rican gang and all of that. And so I think they kind of executed it when it needed to be.
Were you surprised at all or no?
A little, not as much as some of the other stuff, but I was like, I wasn't like totally convinced that they were going to go down the route of her betraying them. And so I mean, it would have been easier not to, I think it would have been very easy for them to just kind of have her as this token character of the agent that's like hanging around trying to help, and he
Yeah,
avoids and comes back at the end.
I
You
feel
know
like
what
she
I
would have
mean?
had
Like,
to die.
wraps
at
it
that
up,
point.
or maybe dies. Yeah. So like, was it the most unpredictable twist? No, but it was still a twist that I think they would had to execute. Wouldn't
I
always work,
agree.
and it did.
I
And so that's why my rating is so high. Just genuinely, I was like, this is fun. Like, this is really working for me.
I have one more like tiny note. And then you whatever any other stuff you
No,
want to say, like I'm
please,
down. Like
please.
I
I
just
want
want
to
to.
keep. I like punching them back. Like, okay, this is why I think I don't. But like,
Well, no, you're
most of your,
totally.
but like most of your opinions, I get it. I just don't agree. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay,
and that's
that's fair.
when you have your response to me. I get what you're saying too. It's not like you're a psycho for these opinions. Not like the
Unlike
weapons thing when we were like, you're
No,
fuck.
you were a psycho for giving Get Out a 7 out of 10.
Okay,
That's what
okay,
you were a
okay.
psycho for.
But
Anyway.
my last thing about this movie that I can think of off the top of my head is it's so small, it's so stupid, it's so funny, is that he calls his mom. Like, they love baseball, and I get loving baseball, right? Like, he was gonna go pro. It's something that he bonds with his mom over. I get it. What are they? Are they? Who's their team? Are they the Tigers? Or
They were Giants fans.
oh, Giants, right. Yeah, San Francisco, they're Giants fans. And he calls his mom and he's basically like, Mom, people are gonna come fucking kill you. Get out of the house. And then you don't hear what the mom says, but then he goes, you can watch the game over at Janice's house. And I was like, is this mom really willing to die so she can watch the Giants game? And it was
Yeah,
so
it's
I was
just
like,
supposed to be...
I think I fucking hate her already.
Dude, isn't it funny that the mom turned out to be Laura Dern?
I know. I thought I knew that voice, and I was like, "There's no way that's." And they're not showing. Her. There's no
You
way
can't
I
really
know that
tell.
voice.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I just
that was
be
really
anyone,
funny.
but it ended up being Laura Dern. I was just like, what the fuck? Like,
I know.
genuinely, I was like, okay, cool.
Weird but funny. But I just thought that was such a funny thing. She was like, "I'm willing to die to watch."
No,
the
yeah, but I
Giants on
thought
TV."
I loved like the role baseball played in this. I mean, I'm a baseball
I do
fan. I was on a
too.
baseball. I'm wearing a Field of Dreams shirt right now, but
Yeah.
like,
And the double,
I loved
caught
it.
stealing money.
Yeah, the double
stealing
entendre
home.
there. I thought it was really cool.
It was
So
cool.
I loved it. I thought this was a great addition to Darren Aronofsky's filmography, and I think it's another great outing from Austin Butler. One of my favorites right now. I mean,
He's always great.
Yeah. So
He's always great. I'm assuming he's over 30, right?
yes.
Because neither of us drafted him for our under 30 actors
No.
pick.
We definitely both looked during that draft
Yeah,
to
I know.
see. I know I did, and I was like,
He
yeah,
would have
he's
gone
definitely over.
first or second.
He
I'm
would have been
sure.
like easily my first pick. He's just so like, I think he has such an interesting like choice. Like, he makes interesting choices of like who he wants to work with and what kind of roles he's
Yeah.
doing.
And he oozes charisma, man.
He has a lot of charisma. And he has
Even
a lot
in
of
Dune.
range.
Even in
Yeah.
Dune, he's like this
Yeah.
psycho villain, but I'm like, damn, this guy's
Fade
cool.
Rotha is just so sick, and
Yeah.
like he really brings a lot of life.
And he's not
into
hot.
Those scenes.
Like, Austin Butler's hot. But
Yeah.
Fade Rotha is not hot. So people could
Why?
be like,
Because he's bald.
no, because he's pale and has no eyebrows and he's like
Oh, yeah, he's
oozing
got, like,
at the mouth and shit.
Yeah.
Like,
No, you're right. You're right.
no, but like people might say, oh, he's just good looking. Like, that's how he gets anywhere. No, he's a fucking fantastic actor, dude. And he's good looking.
It's all like that. He has everything that it takes to be a true Hollywood star. And when people say that the movie star is dead, I say, look at Timothée Chalamet and Austin Butler, and they prove wrong. You know, a lot of people are like Tom Cruise is the last fucking true movie star.
He's on
And
his
I
way
say,
out.
look, there's nobody who does it like Tom Cruise right now, or ever, except maybe like Buster Keaton in the 20s. But like, genuinely, you know, Austin Butler and guys like him and Chalamet and guys like them are like, the movie stars, of our generation, and Caught Stealing is further proof of that.
Pretty crazy, man.
So that's about it for me. I don't know if you had anything else you wanted to add in.
I think that's it. Caught Stealing. I'd recommend it. I didn't love it, but it was good. Like, I
Well,
genuinely had a good time.
I very much recommend it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Moving on to another movie that's fun, and a franchise that I've been a fan of for a long time, The Conjuring: Last Rites, the film we were talking about a little bit earlier, which had a ginormous opening weekend here and around the world. And I wonder if Warner Bros. Is going to look at this and say, "Ooh, last one? I don't know, 'cause I don't know anymore."
I was going to talk to you about that.
But they definitely. I'll say this. So, I'm going to start right here. Spoilers ahead for The Conjuring: Last Rites. If you haven't seen it, skip ahead to another chapter or whatever. Same deal with Caught Stealing and like everything ever. So The Conjuring, because you don't care, right?
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I never seen a single one.
Yeah. The Conjuring: Last Rites. I give this 6 creepy ass mirrors out of 10. And I'll say this. I've been a fan of this franchise a long time. The first one came out in 2013. I remember it. The first one was one of the first horror movies I ever saw, and it genuinely scared me so badly. And like even watching it now, I've seen it a bunch of times. Obviously, it doesn't really scare me anymore, but like it still is like, man, what a good movie. Same goes with the second Conjuring. Then James Wan left to go do Aquaman, and the movies just haven't really been the same. And so Last Rites comes out. It's directed by Michael Chavez. Did the third one. He did a few other movies. He hasn't been very good. This one was okay. It's a little hard to say. It was very entertaining. He tried a lot of new things, like concepts with types of scares and build-ups and stuff, and it was really cool to see it in a visual space. The blood looked awful. I was talking about
Really?
this with my friends after. The blood in the movie looked so thick, it was like syrup. It just wasn't
They've been doing fake
believable.
blood in movies for like 100 years.
They've been
Like,
doing it. Yeah, look at The Shining. You know what I mean? I know you're not a big fan of that movie, I think, but like,
no, I don't like that movie.
yeah, but like the blood scene with the elevators, if you see it, it's like it's got different textures and different colors, and like it's a lot more realistic and that's 1981, and this is 2025, and it looked like syrup coming out of the Warren sink. But the film was playing around with a lot of cool ideas, and because I'm starting with positives here. And the one thing that I really appreciated is that from a narrative standpoint, this movie really brought the franchise full circle to what a lot of its themes have been, like a lot of the core thematic elements, which is family. Obviously it's a horror franchise, and the Warrens, it's based on real people who were alive. Ed and Lorraine Warren, they were pathologists, demonologists.
Which is insane to me that you can see these movies and it's like based on a true story. What the fuck?
Right. And, obviously, like, believe what you want about horror and, like, religion and the afterlife and ghosts and demons and whatever. I know you and I have our own opinions, but, like, no one can say for sure what happened back then during those cases at those houses and whatever. Like, you know what I mean? We weren't there. I can't say for certainty. I admit that. We have our opinions, but maybe something did happen. Like, and I respect it that much. Like, I give it that kind of space of respect. Like,
maybe this is a documentary. That shit actually happened to Patrick Wilson.
Maybe, yeah, facts, maybe. And I'll get to him and Vera Farmiga in a minute, but like, I just think it brought it back to this full circle of like Ed and Lorraine and who they were as people, and what their lives were about. Because remember, when you're dealing with real people who lived and did things, experienced stuff, like, I feel like you have to tread carefully a little bit. It's like, what kind of purpose are you telling through these people, these characters? Because when it's fictional, you make it up. But when they're real, you kind of have to go on like, well, what were their morals and ethics in life? And so I feel like Ed and Lorraine, yes, they were demonologists and they studied this stuff and they were paranormal experts, but above all of that, they loved one another deeply and had a family that they cared very much about. And this, to come back to movies, Last Rites brings that like full circle in what this movie is truly about. And so basically, to give you like such a spark note idea, this takes place in 1986. So the Conjuring movies take place over the course of like 15 years, and it's just like various cases. Ed and Lorraine are kind of like semi-retired now. They don't really do new cases anymore until they kind of get pulled into this last one because it becomes a little more personal, and it's supposed to be like the case that ended them all. And so like I just found it really cool to kind of see these different aspects. Um, but the one complaint that I'll start with is that this movie's pacing was god awful, terrible. The
Damn.
opening is really cool. The first like 20 minutes, like they're kind of introducing some of these ideas of the family and everything. Um, and
Are these long movies? Is it like Mission Impossible where each one's like 2.5 hours nowadays?
No, this was the longest. I think it was 135 minutes, maybe the second longest, but they're usually like between an hour and 40 and then like two something. It's not that long.
Okay.
Um, So this one was like 2 hours, yeah, like 15 minutes, and whatever. And the first like 20 minutes or so were really good, and the ending, like, well, the ending was weird, but like the third act was really cool. But the thing is so you got the Warren family, Ed, Lorraine, and their daughter Judy, who we've seen grow up throughout these films. And now like she's kind of dealing with having these senses, because Lorraine Warren, her whole deal is that she has like senses where she can hear and see like things with the dead and demons and spirits and shit. Um, whether that was real or not, again, I don't know. But for the movie, it's cool. And her daughter has those kind of like abilities as well. And Lorraine is always like, trying to teach her how to like shut it out. You don't want this kind of life. Like it's been a curse. You don't want to deal with that.
It sounds fucking
Um,
horrible.
Right, and so, uh, I don't know, I just thought, like, the thing is they show the Warren family, and all that is great, and then they have the thing with The Conjuring is they focus on, like, another family, generally, except for the third movie, which was a court case thing, very weird, but the first two movies, it's like, we're shown a family, and they're, like, being haunted, and obviously things are going on, and it's progressively getting worse. In this case, they're doing the same thing with a family called the Spurl family,
To bring it
and
back to formula.
yeah, kind of bring it back to formula, except they'll spend like 20. The funny thing is, the shit you were complaining about with weapons, where you exaggerated how long that scene was, is actually valid in this movie.
I don't know
Because
about
they spent like,
exaggerated.
bro, you said it was 10 minutes. It
I
was
said
not
5 to 10 minutes.
fucking crazy. Anyway, in this movie, they'll spend like 20, 25 minutes with one family doing that plot. Then they'll jump to the other family, spend another 20, 25 minutes, go back to the other one. It's just felt very
That's
wishy-washy,
fucking
kind of very
weird.
loose. The script wasn't tight. It needed to be tighter. So
Is this the worst Conjuring movie?
no, the third was worse. Like this
Because
still
it's
had a lot of interesting redeeming
oh
elements of
okay,
like, and this had a higher entertainment value. It wasn't like
okay, cool.
significantly
All right,
better. It wasn't significantly
but
better
it's still
than,
an upgrade from what you last saw.
yes, to whatever degree. Like it wasn't significantly better. Like the first
Yeah.
two are significantly better. It was only mildly better than the third, but it was better. It was an improvement, I would say. Its usage of like Annabelle, because she has obviously been such a big presence in that franchise with her spinoff
Mm.
movies. And so like, that I like that they kind of bring her back as well into this franchise. Like, I don't know. I mean, the biggest thing is that these movies just don't build suspense as well as they used to. Like the first Conjuring movie, like I think, what the scariest thing in horror is the scare, in my opinion, the scariest thing in horror is the punches that you don't take, is the ones that you pull.
So if it
Because
leads to nothing, is that what you're saying?
not like necessarily leading to nothing, it's just sometimes suspense and tension is scarier than the scare itself, because
I
you're
agree with
sitting
that.
with it.
the suspense usually is what gets me.
And the first two Conjuring movies have a good balance of that suspense with the climax of the scares. And this last Conjuring movie, the third one didn't really have either. This last one, Last Rites, it had good like moments of jumps, but it didn't have Michael Chavez continues to struggle with the suspense, and that felt very apparent in this movie. So for me, I didn't jump. I mean, the theater, there were people who jumped. There was like one where they did the fake out and it was like a washing machine. Swear to God, this one person screamed at the top of their lungs and another guy like ran out. And I'm like, guys,
Ran out?
relax.
What do you mean
Yeah,
ran
someone
out?
like ran out of the theater.
What the fuck? They're scared of washing machines.
Really? I don't know. So I was like, okay, but but the suspense wasn't there, so it like I didn't have that build up where it would kind of get me as well.
Yeah, I got you.
I mean to talk a little bit about the acting, Patrick Wilson, Vera Farmiga, I said I'd get to them. I love Patrick Wilson.
Me
I
too,
know you
man.
do too.
He's cool.
And this to me is his most iconic role. He's been doing it a long time. He's a big fan of the series. Actually, before we recorded, I saw a video of him at a screening of a local theater, I assume somewhere in LA, and of The Conjuring, and he talks about how much he's like been a fan of this franchise for a long time, and like he's so glad because the only reason they get to keep doing it is because fans keep coming out and seeing the movies. Otherwise, it would get forgotten by now.
He seems like a nice
Um,
guy, very like grateful and
for
all that
sure, for
stuff.
sure. And he's great in these movies. I thought he was really great here. And as Vera Farmiga, like I think a big draw for these, and I think if you were to ever possibly get into it, the biggest draw for you as a non-horror fan would be that relationship and chemistry between Wilson and Farmiga and their characters. Because
Ooh, they be banging?
I guess they'd be banging, yeah, but like
Nice.
their love is so pure and just strong, and like it's just such at the forefront of all the movies,
We love that.
and it's just Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga played so well, and their dedication to these characters and these people, like I just love it so much, and getting to see them play the characters on the big screen one last time was kind of a surreal moment for me. Felt
Well,
very full circle.
do you believe in your heart of hearts that this is the last Conjuring movie?
It's definitely the last mainline Conjuring movie, I would say.
Yeah, like I feel like I've never seen anyone, but I feel like with franchises like this, in 10 years they can make another one with like a new group of, demon hunters, whatever they are, and like Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga are like older and not really in the movie that much, but they're there to like guide a little bit, you know?
That could be interesting. They could go down that route. I guess that's possible, but I just don't see them doing a mainline story where Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga's Ed and Lorraine Warren show up and like main characters hunting again. Because they even did a thing at the end where like they showed text like explain. The ending was quite beautiful actually because it was they're at Judy's wedding.
The
She
daughter,
gets
right?
married. Yeah, the daughter. And we've seen her grow up throughout these movies, so it's really cool for us. And she's the star, her character, it's like different actors throughout, but like her character's the star of one of the Annabelle movies. Annabelle Comes Home. So it's like it's really
Okay.
cool like for fans to see these characters. Because this last Conjuring movie was kind of like the Conjuring Endgame. And Jack, it's like so funny because they actually brought people back from the other movies for cameos at times.
Is the
Like
Nun
at
in the
her
Conjuring universe?
yes.
So there were like people from the Nun and shit?
No, because
Uh,
that takes place like a long time ago. But they had like, yeah, well, that takes place in like the 1950s. Like the second one does at least. I don't remember
Gotcha.
when the first one. I think sometime around there as well. So, yeah, and like that takes place in Italy. So definitely
Oh, so
not.
not even okay. No,
The
alright.
only character, there's only one character that shows up in every single Conjuring movie in like the whole franchise. Father Gordon. He's like the Nick Fury of the franchise, and
He's
they
like
fucking
assembling the demon hunters.
dude, they fucking killed him off in this one. Like this was kind of like
Damn.
it. They kill off Father Gordon, and then they at the end they showed like the vision of and it was like so it's Ed and Lorraine dancing at the wedding, and Lorraine's like I had like another one of my visions, and Ed's like what is it? And she was talking about their future this time instead of like people dying in the past, and she was like I see us like growing old and like Judy having kids, Judy and Tony, her husband having kids, and like us like kind of like teaching, passing on what we learned to the next generation. And then they
That's what I'm
show
saying. The next
text,
movie, bro.
and then they show text where it's like Ed and Lorraine, it like talks about like how they died and stuff like that. So I'm like, I don't know if we're like gonna see them as main characters ever again. Again, maybe in a future movie, or if they do more Annabelle stuff or something. But like,
How did they kill
um,
the Nick Fury guy?
it's actually one of my favorite scenes in the movie. So he is. So I'll explain. So the stuff is going down in the the Spurl family, the fucking Smurf family, whatever. And he is at Ed Warren's birthday party, and he's like jokingly trying to convince Ed and Lorraine to help him because this family is like really getting fucked up. Like, you know, there was like a scene where she was like vomiting blood and glass all over the bedroom because they're being haunted by
Yeah.
like a mirror thing. I don't need to get into all the details. It has to do with a mirror.
Okay.
Um, Basically, it's like, no, I can't. Like my heart, I can't afford to have any more stress, and like we don't do that anymore. He wants to, but they're both like, I don't know. And Father Gordon takes it upon himself. He's like, all right, I'm gonna try and like help this family. And so he goes to the house and he's like seeing, you know, what's going on, and he's trying to bless the basement where a lot of the stuff is, you know, the haunting is going on. And he's like throwing holy water, and the holy water's burning up into acid on the floor. And he's like, oh my God, this is like, we got a problem
The
here.
priest says, "Oh my God."
Yeah. No, but
He's
literally, he's
holy
like,
fuck.
he's like, Jesus fucking Christ. No, but like, he's like, we have a problem here. And he's like, I'm going to go to the church right away. So he goes to the church. He's like, I need to speak with the bishop about this. And he's waiting for the bishop, and the fucking like demon like is like latched on to him there. And like, he's looking around and he's like, he doesn't see anyone anymore. He's like waiting. He doesn't see the secretary. It's all dark. And he sees it like trying to come after him, whatever. And he's holding up the cross, and he's like, you know, saying a prayer, I'm protected by God and our Savior. And the cross burns up in his hand and burns his hand. And the demon like forces him to hang himself down the banister of the church with a cord from like a vacuum cleaner that they were hinting at throughout the scene, just like the guy kind of like cleaning the floors or whatever. And he ends up
Damn.
hanging himself.
Don't
And that's why
vacuum, bro.
that's so Ed and Lorraine were like, what the fuck? And Judy, who was like close with Father Gordon from over the years, was like, I'm gonna help this family. And that's what dragged Ed and Lorraine in, because they were chasing her, because Lorraine's like, something's not right. And it kind of connects everything together as you see it starts to be like, oh, the mirror, like, you know, because basically in the beginning you learn that Judy was stillborn because Ed and Lorraine were doing like a mission or one of their cases, and it was this mirror that I was telling you about, and it was like a demon that tries to kill Judy. And we see like basically a miracle is what saves her. Like she was stillborn and she comes back because Lorraine's like, please, like, give her
A
back to me.
miracle.
Yeah,
My bad. My bad, y'all.
bro,
My bad. My bad.
a miracle. That's so okay.
Anyway, continue.
And God damn it. So she's like, please bring her back to me, and she comes back to life, and it's a miracle. And yeah, no, and then at the end, like that's the whole thing, is like the demons using this family and the mirror to like bring Judy back. Like it was planned. It was kind of interesting, you know. The thing is I thought the story, like, to kind of wrap up my thoughts, basically, the story was really interesting, but the way that they introduced elements of it were very, very clunky.
Gotcha. You hate to see
Um,
that.
and to, you know, all in all, it was a good enough ending for the franchise. Not like the most satisfying or the best, but good enough. Like it works. So that's the Conjuring Last Rites. That's about my thoughts
Hey,
on those.
nice hat you got there.
Been eyeing down my hat for
I've
the
been
last
waiting to
like
say that for a
5,
little
10
bit.
minutes.
That's a cool hat.
You know, in 19, and I'll read what it says. Audiences filled the theaters in the summer of 75 to witness Jaws, and 50 years later, we did the same. By we, I
That's
mean
right.
me, but me
Yeah,
and a
me
lot
too.
of people did the same.
You were the only one.
We didn't do the box office numbers for Labor Day weekend, but the Jaws re-release finished in second. domestically in the box office numbers that weekend.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk a little bit. I don't want to do just a full-on review of Jaws. That's not really
I feel like
what I
everyone's
want to do
seen
here.
Jaws at this point. Like,
I want to talk about the 50th anniversary and the impact of Jaws. And just like what what you think it means to us as movie lovers, but also the movies that I know are some of your favorites and like the direct impact that Jaws has had on those films. So, I'll start with this. To me, it's a 10 out of 10 movie. I got to see it again in theaters, again for the movie, but for the first time in theaters. And I'll just use this space to say that was so awesome. I saw it in Chicago with my dad, and just seeing Jaws on the big screen was one of those like once in a lifetime, I guess, just like awesome opportunities where it was like I got to step back through time. And I got to see, like, sure, Jaws is not scary to us the way it was to people 50 years ago.
they were like avoiding the pool because they thought there were sharks in
But
it.
yeah, like
Like,
no one wanted to go into the ocean. You know what I mean? Like there was
yeah,
this Jaws honestly did a really negative number in terms of the stigma around sharks in general. And like
yeah.
they're
People went out
the
like hunting sharks and shit. Like,
right. And there's also like an overreaction to the major danger that shark attacks actually have on
yeah,
us
yeah,
because it's not as high of a cause of death. And that is on Jaws. And like, this is a space to even mention something like that because it's like, you know, that is part of the legacy of this movie. But to see it on the big screen, to see all the iconic moments, like obviously when they're at the beach there and the split diopter shot of Roy Scheider's character when he realizes that there's a shark in the ocean on the 4th of July, like all of it was just so awesome.
I
And
saw this
I know you love it.
this photo of these people watching Jaws on like it's kind of like a drive-in theater, but instead of a drive-in, it's a lake, and they were all in the water in floaties and like on tubes and stuff, just watching Jaws. And dude, imagine how scary that would be because it's like dark. It's at night. It's like
That
dark water underneath
sounds,
you.
yeah, that sounds epic.
Doesn't that sound
I
so
would
cool?
absolutely love to try
And you're
that.
watching it on a giant projector in front of you. You're in a lake or like maybe it was a big pool or something. It was like dark water, and it looked fucking cool.
Yeah, no, that I need to find that. I need to try that. But like
Yeah.
Jaws just I mean like I hadn't seen it in some years and to me it like still holds up. Like obviously we're talking cultural impact, but it's just even now it still holds up as just like such a great movie and that's a testament to it being kind of the blueprint of one of the early great blockbusters. And obviously even Spielberg, the director, the blockbuster king. I mean, this was his second movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a long time, and I still remember it being good. I'd probably give it like an 8 out of 10. Like, it's not my favorite Spielberg, or it's probably like top 5 though. Because he's got so many bangers, man.
I know, but like when I watch this, I see even more all like I think it's so crazy seeing so many more elements of Jurassic Park. Especially because I rewatched Jurassic
Really?
Park. I rewatched Jurassic Park back in April, and I hadn't seen that in several years either. And now I rewatched Jaws.
Love that movie.
And yeah, just in terms of like the way Spielberg structures his tension around the fear, like obviously Jurassic Park has a little bit more of an adventurous upside, and Jaws has a little bit more of a horror thriller
Yeah, it's more
upside to it.
suspenseful.
Yeah, for sure. But like you definitely see that groundwork. And I just think for a movie that's 50 years old, it still has those like needle drops with the score, the bigger boat line, a lot of lines throughout the script. Like it just is such a fun thriller and horror movie that has set a standard to this day, I think, for what, like I said, a blockbuster should be. Like when we go to the movies, we want the biggest scale possible of a movie. And I think Jaws really was one of the first ones to do that. And
Yeah,
getting to see
man.
that in theaters again was, like I said, it was ethereal. It was another level.
And that's why we love the re-releases because I mean, to give us the opportunity to see the Star Warses and Indiana Joneses and Back to the Futures and Jaws type movies in theaters, something that we would never actually get to experience, that's pretty special.
And you know what's funny too? Like, I think the cultural impact of this movie goes beyond what people even realize. Like, for example, did you realize that the episode of SpongeBob with the Alaskan bullworm is a direct like parody and inspiration basically of Jaws? Like that's
No, but I
literally
feel like they did the dun dun
well, it's
dun. Like I
do you
feel like they did
remember
that in that episode.
do you remember the scene in in that episode when when they're all in the Krusty Krab arguing like how to take care of the Alaskan bullworm, and then Sandy is like scratching her
Oh
nails on
yeah,
the
yeah.
chalkboard? That's fucking Jaws. Like that
Yeah.
scene comes from Jaws. That happens in Jaws. They're in the town hall. They're trying to figure out like, oh, like what are we gonna do about this shark? Blah blah blah. Like who's gonna go kill it? And then Quint, who's the guy who has the boat, he's in the back. He scratches the chalkboard or whatever,
I
and he's
hate that
like,
noise though.
because they're all like, we'll give you the mayor's like, we'll give a reward to anyone 3,000 to catch it. He's like, I'll do it by myself for 10. You get the shark, you'll get its head, blah blah blah. Like,
Yeah,
just it
you
comes
can
anywhere.
name a TV show and that specific scene has been parodied in it. Like I know it's in Always Sunny, it's in New Girl, it's probably in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I think I remember it being in. Definitely in Family Guy and like The Simpsons and stuff like that. Like that specific scene is everywhere. And don't even get me started on the theme. The theme, the shark's entrance theme is so iconic. And it's got to be up there with like top character themes of all time.
Well, and here's the thing. So it's John Williams, who
Of
is
course, the GOAT.
obviously one of them. Dare I say, you probably disagree. Dare I say the Jaws theme is the most recognizable theme in his entire catalog. And he's got a lot of them. He's got Star Wars, he's got Harry Potter, he's got Indiana Jones, but dare I say that dun 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 dun, like dare I say that is his most recognizable work of all.
I think it's definitely the most used and most heard, but do you think like younger people aren't going to be like that's Jaws? They're going to be like that's from that other show that I saw because it was in that show. You know what I mean?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think
You don't think
Jaws is
so?
one of those few films like an old Star Wars. I mean, I get that's different because it's a franchise, but like, I think Jaws has superseded that to a different level of cultural relevance because now you see the Jaws merch. Like, yeah, you see this hat, right? But
Yeah.
look, you see Jaws merch everywhere. Like, I'll go into like, you can go into like a fucking Spencer's into a mall or something and see like Jaws graphic tees and things like that.
I
Like,
know I
feel
have
like
one. I should have worn it.
you should have worn it.
I know, I forgot. I put my
Fucking
Goonies
wore the
on today.
Goonies, a different
I'm
80s
gooning.
movie.
I'm
Oh,
gooning today.
Jaws is 70s. Different decade, I guess.
But I
still.
get what you're saying. But with the theme, this is just my own personal experience is that I was talking to my girlfriend about it, and she had never seen Jaws. She saw it for the first time in theaters last week with the 50th anniversary.
God, that's
and
so cool.
she went with her dad, and I was supposed to go, but I had stuff to do. And she was like, I've never seen Jaws. All I know it's about a shark. And I was like, oh, well, you know the theme. And I told her the theme. And she goes, that's from that? She was like, I used to do that in the pool, swimming around my sister with the pool. Or like we used to do the theme as kids before we even knew what it was from. She was like, that's
Right,
from
but
Jaws?
she's doing it in the pool because she knows even subconsciously.
Yeah, she knows it's a
that
shark, but she was like,
it's a
that's from Jaws?
shark-related theme. That's what I'm saying. Like, even if
Yeah,
you don't
you're
really
right.
realize it is Jaws, Jaws has reached this next level of relevance. And that's not to say Star Wars hasn't, Harry Potter hasn't.
No,
I just
but that is
feel
a
like
crazy
from
impact.
John Williams' specific catalog of work, his body of work, the Jaws theme, to me, stands alone at number one as like everyone knows this is Jaws, that is that impending like doom that invokes that feeling every single time you listen to it.
Yeah, and he's got so much work, John Williams, that he's done that it's like it's a big achievement to be that number one.
For sure. I mean,
Yeah.
he is with Hans Zimmer as the goats of the industry. And
it's
you
not our
just gotta give-
favorite theme, but it's definitely the most recognizable.
Well, yeah, I don't know if the Jaws theme is like my favorite all time. It's up there.
No, it's got to
But-
be like Star Wars or Jurassic Park or something like, or Indiana Jones. I love.
It's probably Star Wars for me.
Yeah.
But I just think everybody knows Jaws. Like everybody and their mother knows Jaws in that theme song. And that's, again, we're talking about 50 years on. Here we are, half a century. This movie is still having a major impact in our world, and like it's a testament to everybody involved with it. Obviously, Roy Scheider's great in the lead. I love Roy Scheider. Obviously, he was also in All That Jazz, which is another like breathtaking movie with a lot of abstract thoughts. And so he was an iconic actor. But Spielberg, I mean, again, this is just his, like, I don't even know where I have it on my list. I do want to check real quick while we're talking about it, since I just rewatched it.
All right, I'll check mine too. This is your Spielberg
My Spielberg list.
ranking of Spielberg movies?
Yes, out of 19, I have it at 5. And I could see it being flip-flopping with what I have at 4, but right now it's right there.
Out of 19, I have it. I mean, not 19.
I was going to say we have the same amount.
Out of 13, I have it at 6.
What do you have above it?
So I guess we're doing rankings right now. These are my top.
We're doing like
6.
quick. Yeah, all right.
These are my top 6 Steven Spielberg movies. In 6th place, I have Jaws. In 5th place, maybe a hot take, I have Ready Player One. In 4th place, I have Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. In 3rd place, I have Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark. In 2nd place, I have Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. And in 1st place, I have Jurassic Park. Yes, I like Ready Player One, okay?
I like Ready Player One. It's objectively not better than Jaws.
I don't. And I have it above E.T. I have it above War of the Worlds, the Fablemans.
You are asking yourself to get, like, doxxed on the internet.
Go ahead. Why don't you go ahead?
I think my top 6 is a lot more fair. I really do.
Well,
At number 6, I have Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Stupid. Go ahead. That's the best Indiana Jones movie.
No, it's not. At 5, I have Jaws. At 4, I have the Fablemans, but I could swap Fablemans and Jaws. That's what I was saying. I could definitely. Those are pretty interchangeable for me. At 3, I have Jurassic Park. At 2, I have Raiders of the Lost Ark. And at 1, I have Schindler's List.
I never saw Schindler's List, so.
All right, fair enough. That is like.
But
it shouldn't even be considered. It's like a tier of its own kind of a film. But, like, to me, I think that's a lot more fair. And for anyone wondering, E.T.'s right outside at 7. Yeah, I love E.T. I love E.T. It just a lot of great options. I'm sorry, and I love Ready Player One. I do. I think it gets overhated, but above Jaws and E.T. is criminal. That could get you 5 to 10 in film prison. Like, that's crazy.
Dude, all my opinions can get me 5 to 10 in film prison, apparently. This podcast is showing me that nobody agrees with me.
It's exposing you is what it's doing.
I know. It's just not showing me shit. It's exposing me.
I love Jaws, though. Jaws,
it's good.
To wrap it up, Jaws is truly one of the films that stands the test of time. I think I can watch it over and over and never get tired of it. What a great film. Spielberg is the king. And here's to another 50 years of Jaws.
Yeah, I'm down for that. I think we're going to move on.
Yeah, let's talk about some things that aren't 50 years old because they haven't even come out yet. The first one, we got a new trailer, a full trailer for this, not just a teaser, for the new addition into the Knives Out franchise, Wake Up Dead Man, written and directed by Rian Johnson. So let's get some thoughts about this. This looked awesome.
I think it looks great, except, again, I'm like so negative today, I think.
Why can't you just like stuff, bro?
I remember the trailers for Knives Out. No, you know what? No, Glass Onion is skewing me because Knives Out, we knew Harlan was going to die. Right? In the trailer, I think they definitely showed that the old dude was going to die, or did they not?
I don't remember.
Christopher Plummer. But I know for a fact that when Glass Onion came out, we didn't know who was going to die. The trailer never gave it away. And then this one just straight up tells us Josh Brolin is going to die.
Yeah, but it's a different concept this time. Now it doesn't matter. We're not trying to figure out who died. It's like, oh, we have no idea how he died. It seems impossible.
I think them giving it away that he's going to die means that he faked his death and that someone else is going to die.
I don't think necessarily. I mean, maybe.
There's no way they get Josh Brolin just to kill him immediately, dude.
Dude, but you could say that, but they get popular characters all the time. You could say about Christopher fucking Plummer.
Yeah, I guess if
Like,
they
you
have
could say
flashbacks, because
that,
he had
you know what
flashbacks
I
and
mean?
stuff.
Like, you could say that about any of these characters. So you could say that about Dave Bautista in the second movie. They didn't, he dies pretty quickly in that one. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like I I get like the mystery, but I just think it's a different mystery.
I
Like the
like the
mystery's not.
horror vibes of this trailer.
Yeah, the gothic horror vibes.
It's
I think
cool,
it's
man.
setting it because I think a lot of people thought Glass Onion was too jokey, and I didn't mind it. You know what
Yeah,
I
I
don't
tend to agree with
mind,
that.
but I don't think that was a problem. My thing is that I don't mind that the Knives Out movies are just different genres each time. I don't mind that.
I kind of like that.
I think it's like, all right, the first one was your classic run of the mill murder mystery.
Who done
Then
it?
the second one, yeah, very like Clue-esque. Then the second one is very like summer kind of like, fun vacation vibe, like comedy. This one's more like darker gothic thriller kind of vibes, like religious tones. Like I I really appreciate that, and I'm really excited about that. I think the cast is cool. If only we had an app where we could talk about someone on the cast.
Yeah, dude, I heard that Jeremy Renner was in this movie, and I didn't know about it until I saw the trailer because there was no app to talk about it.
Yeah, I don't know where to spread that news.
Like, someone's got to get on there.
That there's like $1 billion idea right there.
I know.
But also Josh O'Connor, Andrew
He looks
Scott.
great. Josh O'Connor looks hilarious.
I think he's gonna give a great performance. I think they all are. I mean, these casts are always some of my favorite casts in
I love
movies.
it. I love the announcement of hearing who's in the next movie.
Yeah, it's always so exciting. Like, kind of like what situation Rian Johnson's going to put them up against.
Not a lot of Daniel Craig, Benoit Blanc in this trailer.
No, but that's okay because I think they're really trying to like. There's a different side to that character we're getting in this movie, and I don't mind not showing as much of that to us. And I'm sure we're going to get another trailer anyway. The last thing I want to say in regards to it is that I really hope that this gets. I hope Netflix changes its mind and gives this a longer release or a more wide release for theaters. Similar, we were talking last episode about K-pop Demon Hunters. Like the success can be there financially, so I would love to see them give this its fair run in theaters because that's where I want to see it. I don't want to see it for the first time on my screen. I want to see it in theaters.
I totally agree. And while we're on the subject, we're gonna move off this trailer already probably, but we got shit on for our K-pop Demon Hunters clip too, which was so funny. Did you see that?
I did. All we were doing was reporting the news that
we were like, Netflix
number
movies make it a lot of money in theaters. They should keep doing this. And people were like, if you didn't see the movie, don't fucking talk about it.
They were like, it wasn't smart. The movie was just good. I'm like, I didn't say the movie wasn't good, but that doesn't mean it's not smart for Netflix to put it in theaters.
Yeah, like we are really big on putting movies in theaters. Like I'm sure a lot of movie fans are. And that was the point of that video. And that's kind of the point of what we're talking about right now is that this movie is going to be great, I'm sure, but it's going to be a better experience in theaters. No matter what the movie is, like in theaters, just a different experience, and it helps the movie theater industry grow and not die out as it seems like it's starting to go. So K-pop Demon Hunters, Wake Up Dead Man, Knives Out, whatever, put it in theaters. We want to see it.
Absolutely. I think people just get the wrong idea of what we were talking about.
I think so too.
We weren't reviewing
fine.
the movie, but well, let's keep this train rolling because we have a lot we want to get to still in this episode. We got some news about movies that haven't even been filmed yet. That was a movie. So we go from Jaws out 50 years, Wake Up Dead Man out 0 years yet. Now we move on to another movie that's just announced. So it's just an idea right now.
Superman, Man of Tomorrow. Just announced by James Gunn, David Cornsweet, and Nicholas Hoult. They all posted images on Instagram of Superman with Lex Luthor in his battle armor, and they said it's going to be titled Man of Tomorrow. That title, it's almost guaranteed to change because DC has just changed their titles constantly every time a movie's starting to come out. I just want to know what you think about Lex Luthor coming back as possibly the main villain again. We don't know anything about this movie. All we know is that Lex Luthor's in it with his battle armor and Superman's in it.
I assume he's not going to be I assume it's going to be a 1A, 1B situation, but I don't mind it because I think something that superhero movies have lacked in recent years is a recurring villain.
Yeah, and they love to kill off a villain in the first movie.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I want to, like, Nicholas Holt's performance in Superman is my favorite. in that movie, and so I don't mind seeing him come back with that character, and I'm developing that relationship further, that feud further between Superman and Lex Luthor.
Dude, I would love to see. I don't know. I know you don't know too much about DC Comics. Do you know Brainiac?
I've heard of him.
So Brainiac, at least in some iterations of the comics, he's this like insanely intelligent alien, but he's also like part technology. He's like connected through all technology and stuff like that with his ship, and he basically destroys planets. He's like almost a Galactus version, or he takes over planets, he conquers planets, whatever the iteration is. And in some iterations, he's the thing that destroyed Krypton. Um, that would be cool. And my hope for this movie is Brainiac pulls up, is ready to destroy Earth. Supergirl's got to be in this movie. Supergirl was a kid when Krypton was destroyed, so she knows Brainiac destroyed it. Lex Luthor teams up with Superman to fight off Brainiac. Lex Luthor is a super smart guy. Nicholas Hoult plays him fantastically. And how cool would it be to see him begrudgingly team up with an alien to defeat an even worse alien? Because he fucking hates aliens, as we know from the first movie.
Yeah, that seems like kind of the direction they're going in, I think, based on
It-
these little teases that we're getting about
It
this,
could be
this
awesome, man.
sequel. And I think we're in for something really cool. It is interesting because the film is slated to come out in 2027, which one is the same year the Batman 2 is slated to come out, which is funny because look how much more or less time one takes than the other.
I know.
But also, well, that means that the DCU, from a feature film standpoint, will have really started with like 3 Superman movies, 3 like Superman related movies, and Clayface.
So weird. It's so weird.
You know,
But
that's the only thing that's like, okay,
you know what?
sure.
I know I kind of shit on it because like it's so weird to start with that, but I do like the variety. I mean, obviously,
Well, I'm
3
saying
Superman related movies.
that's what I'm saying. I think it's almost a lack of it, but
It is, but I like that Clayface is thrown in there. I'm not like
I do.
criticizing
I'm
the
very
weird.
excited.
Like I think Clayface is such a weird choice, but if they do it well, it'd be really cool to just be like, yeah, we have a Clayface movie and it's good.
Dude, I saw a review recently on Letterboxd of Mike Flanagan, and I don't even remember what he reviewed, but I liked it. And someone commented, like, replied, and they were like, "Oh, why are you wasting your time, like, reviewing, talking about blah 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 instead of making Clayface, bro?" And he replied, he was like, "It's because I'm not making Clayface. I'm not making Clayface because I'm making The Exorcist and Carrie. What are you doing, bro?" And I was like, dude, that's so funny.
Come on, speed it up, bro.
I do wish he was making Clayface, but I am still very excited for that movie to see like his writing and the vision. I think they got James Watkins doing that, so to see his vision on it.
The potential of the DCU
pretty
is
cool.
just through the roof. So
For
I'm
sure.
excited.
All right. Well, that's that. So Superman, Man of Tomorrow, coming out perhaps in a theater very soon, maybe even tomorrow.
July 2027.
Moving on, another film that maybe isn't coming quite as soon as we would hope is Jordan Peele's next film, which is untitled and no cast and no updates at this point. And that update now is that I guess the update is that there is no update because Universal. Yeah. All right. So moving on.
All right,
No, Universal has removed his latest film from their schedule. It was originally slated to hit theaters October of 2026. Now it is off the schedule entirely because Jordan Peele apparently, reportedly, does not even have a working script done. He's still
he's taking his time
developing it. And so I do wonder if movies like Sinners and Weapons have had a bit of an impact on saying, what do I want to do as my approach to my 4th feature film now?
Yeah, like imagine he scrapped an entire script because he's like, "Fuck, I could have done it better."
And it's certainly possible because you look at Quentin Tarantino, who was going to do The Movie Critic as his last movie, and then scrapped it, and now wrote that, like, you know, Adventures of Cliff Booth. But even he's not directing that. So, like, we see high profile directors make that decision.
Yeah.
So it's not like unprecedented, I guess. And so I find it very interesting to see that. I mean, disappointing. Sure, I really want to see his next movie, but like, I guess take your time, you know, and to make sure you get it right. But certainly a letdown of news, you know, especially because we don't have an update on when.
Real
it'll come out.
quick, while we're on the subject of Jordan Peele, what do you think of the trailer for? I don't know if you saw. I'm assuming you did. His new movie that he's producing. He's not directing. Him, the
Yes,
football
I mean
movie.
I've seen it. I've seen it a bunch of times. There's been a few different trailers that comes out this month actually. Very excited. It looks so different
I
and
think it
unique
looks
from like
terrible.
no. I'm very interested. First of all, anything Jordan Peele backs, you have to have some
I know. I loved
trust.
Monkey Man and whatever else he did,
But
he did. But
also, I think it looks like a really original take mixing sports with horror and that side of
it's a
horror with
good idea.
paranormal and cultish. Is it going to be good? I don't know, but like I have faith in anything Peele backs himself in, and I think it looks really different, and I champion original horror, and I don't know, I feel like it can take me for a whirlwind. Like I
I
really,
hope it's good.
and I'm a big football fan, so yeah, it's called Him. I plan on seeing it and talking about it on this podcast when it comes
Yeah.
out.
Um, I wanted to talk a little bit of Toy Story 5.
Yes.
I recently stumbled across some news that was released. I think it was not supposed to be released to the public because it was like someone recording in the back of like Disney Expo or some shit. Um, but the plot of Toy Story 5 was sort of released and then some cast and announcements and stuff like that. So what we learned during that expo was their theme is going to be it's toy meets tech.
Mm-hmm.
So the villain of the movie is named Lilypad, and she's a tablet, like an iPad. And it's going to be the toys versus Lilypad. There's a new character who's a smart potty trainer toy, and it's like a plastic uh, toilet paper, voiced by Conan O'Brien, which I thought was kind of cool. And they also said there's gonna be 50 Buzz Lightyears that are stuck in toy mode. So a lot of shit's going on already in this movie. It's written and directed by Andrew Stanton, who did Finding Nemo, Finding Dory, A Bug's Life, and your favorite, Wall-E. How do you feel about this?
I mean, it makes sense for them to go down this route of like, all right, 2020s, like, how does, because obviously the whole thing of Toy Story is like toys and the impact that they have on your childhood, and like, what does that look like in an ever changing world where now toys are technology at younger and younger ages? Kids are, using tablets and phones, and, parents are making them Facebook and Instagram accounts and things like that. And they play games on there instead, video games, of course. So like the role of like a doll or like a little race car toy or something, anything
Yeah,
like that, like the sketch toys, like any of that, the Slinkies, like I do think it makes sense for them to. I mean, my opinions in general on them making a Toy Story 5 are kind of complicated. Like, it'll probably be pretty good. I still don't think that they should be making it, but like at the same time, you know, here's the thing. Pixar needs to make sequels to be able to fund originals. So I'm fine with that. But I'm sitting here saying, like, you could do a Ratatouille sequel. Like, you don't need to, but at this point, I'd rather them do something in that world than continue to milk Toy Story over and over and over again.
I know.
Like, play around in another sandbox.
And I'm sick of them ending the movie and being like, this is the final one, just to announce another one years later. Like, Toy Story 3 was the perfect ending. Okay, never mind. We get Toy Story 4. Toy Story 4 was a fine ending. Woody goes off by himself or with Bo Peep out in the fucking wilderness or whatever they do. Nope, never mind. The gang's back together again. I don't know.
Yeah, and
Like,
I
they
mean,
do
look,
it like this is the end. Like, I get to end a movie, but they act like they're ending the franchise for the last two movies. Now, this, they'll
yeah,
probably do the
because
same
they
thing. They'll
are
end the
ending the
franchise. And then the sixth movie will be announced 2 years later.
It's because they're ending the franchise until they need more money.
I know,
That's
and
just
it's
what they're
like
doing. But that's why look, the third movie is the perfect ending. You're not going to get better than that. It's quite literally one of my favorite endings ever.
4 and 5 should not exist.
No, and four, it's like, all right, I always looked at it as like an epilogue. Like they made it work. It's fine. It's not as good of an ending as three, but like it's not a bad ending. But yeah, I just feel like, again, Andrew Stanton is great. He has a great track record, and I'm sure it's going to be a fun movie. But at this point, they are just doing it. And I get it. It's Toy Story. It's the biggest IP that they have in Pixar by far. So, of course, they're going to keep milking that for every last drop. I'm just sitting here saying, ugh, again and again and again. I mean, I'm gonna be the last thing I'm gonna be watching on my deathbed is Toy Story 17. Like
I
you
know.
know, it's
And
just too
like
much.
there's no more character arcs. Like
No.
this is gonna be, I get the whole tech thing, it's whatever. Maybe the arc will be like we're obsolete, but they kind of did that already in Toy Story 3 when Andy was getting old and not playing with them. Maybe this will be Buzz versus all the other toys, all the other Buzzes that are stuck in toy mode, except that happened in Toy Story 2 where there are the other Buzzes stuck in toy mode. And I don't know, like Toy Story 4, Buzz's arc was that he could think. Like his whole thing was like, what's this voice telling me inside my head? I can
Yeah,
think.
they didn't really use him that much in
I
Toy
know,
Story
because
4.
they have nothing. Like Woody had a great arc, and his arc was complete. He went off with Bo Peep. He realized, I don't want to be with the kids anymore. I want to live my own life. Okay, great arc. But now he's going to be back. So it's like, what the fuck's going on? There's nowhere these characters can go that they haven't already. And it's just, again, like you said, just milking the same IP. I'm going to have fun watching it. The plot seems a little convoluted if there's tech versus toys and also 50 different Buzz Lightyears that are going to be there and different toys coming in and all this shit and all the old characters coming back. We're going to have fun, but it is like, it just begs the question, like, why do we need or want this?
From an artistic standpoint, the answer is for no reason. It's all, again, it's just financial, and I get that. But no, you're spot on. The character arcs have completed themselves. Like, there's really nowhere left to go with them. So at this point, we're just doing side quests. We'll still see it. We'll see what happens. But, I mean, I love Pixar. We'll see.
I'm excited to see what it looks like because Toy Story 4's animation was fantastic.
Yeah, it will really come a long ways. You're right. That is the one thing they always do. Is animation is always just improving every year. So
I love rewatching the first Toy Story and like it's so fucking ugly. It's got the 90s charm to it, the 99 charm to it. But looking at Toy Story 4, it's like, wow, this came a long way.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess that's that. One last thing I want to get to in this episode, some big news that I know we're both interested in is, so Saturday Night Live returns for its 51st season on October 4th. And as always, they make some big cast changes every year. And so I just wanted to go through some of those cast announcements with you. First, let's talk about some of the people that left, and then we'll get into who's coming in.
Yeah.
And look, this happens every year. Like, I think I'm going to start by saying this. People are looking at this and they're saying, oh my God, this and that, whatever. People leave every year.
Yeah.
All right? I was just going to say, that's how SNL stays relevant.
When you throw an announcement out there for who left or who's in, I think you and I should each give like a quick, like 1-sentence thought of how we feel about that.
Each person. Yeah, except for one, there's
unless there's like big ones, but otherwise it's just like,
we'll start with this. I mean, do you already know the whole, like,
I don't remember.
Okay. Well, so first, Devin Walker, he was around a couple years. He's pretty good.
He's funny, but I don't really care.
Michael Longfellow, I was a little surprised by this one.
I like him. It's a little disappointing.
And this was the most disappointing to me of the new people Michael Longfellow wasn't that new. He was around a few years, but they cut two of the new people, featured players, Emil Joachim.
Yeah, I feel like he was in like 2 episodes the entire
I was
time.
surprised because I thought he was pretty good. And also when you think about like political comedy with Zoran Mamdani coming up in the New York City mayoral election, a little surprising. Also, I don't want to be that guy, but they did cut 2 of the players of color. I mean, I'm not saying that that's why they cut him. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying you cut those players, like you're losing that kind of diversity of the characters you can do in the audience. I mean, they used to have fucking Fred Armisen playing Barack Obama because they didn't have a black guy in the audience in his early years to do it.
What, they didn't have Keenan?
No, like they literally had Fred Armisen playing.
That's so
because
funny.
Fred Armisen had the best, I guess, accent, Barack Obama accent, but he's not black. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, I was pretty disappointed to see, especially Longfellow and Joaquin exit. And then the big one that made their exit is Heidi Gardner after 8 seasons.
That is sad.
Is hanging it up. From what I gather, that was a mutual departure.
She wasn't like fired or anything.
No, like from what I gathered, like it was just not a renewal of contract. I don't know if that's true. I don't know. but just like that's what was reported. So, it's disappointing. Like, I like Heidi Gardner, and one of my favorite sketches of recent time, but really of ever, is the Beavis and Butthead sketch. It's so funny, and
So good,
her
dude.
breaking is like her breaking comparison to Keenan playing it as a straight man is what makes that one of like the funniest sketches you'll ever see.
It's so good.
So like it's disappointing, but 8 years is a good run, I think, on SNL.
Yeah, I think she's
And
trying to branch out. I feel like I just saw her in a movie like pretty recently.
I'm not sure. She's in she has a recurring role in that show Shrinking, the one with Harrison Ford and Jason
Oh,
Segel.
really?
Yeah, and she's also in like commercials.
So she's trying. I think she's like branching out and stuff. I'm trying to see real quick. She's in a movie I just saw. It might have been, Eeny Meeny. Oh no, she was in You, season
Was
5.
she?
She's in You, season 5. That's what I saw. I saw someone watching
You
it. I was like, holy
watched it? I thought
no,
you
I
didn't.
didn't. My
Yeah,
mom was
okay.
watching it. I was like, holy shit, Heidi Gardner's in You. She was like in the glass case. I was like, holy shit.
So
yeah.
Variety has the full cast list that's been finalized for season 51.
Okay.
And we'll go down the line. So Kenan Thompson, who will shout out, this is his obviously record-breaking 23rd season. I mean, it's every year he breaks the record.
He's hitting 25 at least.
23rd year on the show. I wasn't sure if he'd stay past 50. Same with Lorne Michaels, but here they are. Chloe Fineman,
Cool.
Bowen Yang. Bowen Yang is obviously going to have to really step up as one of the leads. Like
He's
is
a
one of
star,
the leads. I
man.
mean, he's an Emmy nominated. He's one of the Emmy nominated.
He's in
a
Wicked.
couple weeks we're going to talk about the Emmys on the show again. Like
Yeah.
he's nominated. So yeah, he's in Wicked. That's such a good point. Ega Wodum, love her.
she's great.
I mean, I'm glad she's still here. Mikey Day, gotta say this, thought he was going to leave.
He's so underrated.
Yeah, but I think they're getting to the point where like they don't really know where to use him anymore. I don't think they know where to use him in sketches. He looks like a fucking 48-year-old playing teenagers in sketches at times.
That's what's so funny though. Like his sketch with Io Adebri, like when they're like, "You're doing drugs," like they're on school campus or whatever, and the guy's like, "Yeah, I just did a little mushrooms." That's one of my favorite sketches of all time.
I like Mikey Day, but I'm not saying he's been bad. He's been a good player, but I personally think it would have been okay moving on from him if you were going to reshake up the core of the cast a bit.
I get that.
I'm glad Michael Che and Colin Jost are still here. I thought they for sure were going to leave after 50th. And there were rumors that Lorne was screening for new Weekend Update anchors, but we get another year of Colin and Michael behind the desk. They're awesome with it. Andrew Dismukes stays on.
Yeah, he's always funny.
He's pretty funny. Marcelo Hernandez kind of bloomed into a big star on the show.
Yeah.
James Austin Johnson returns this year.
He's my favorite.
Lorne confirmed he will be playing Trump on the show again this year.
He's so good, dude.
Such a great Trump impression. Sarah Sherman comes back for another year. They moved Ashley Padilla, who I think was a little underrated from the featured player. She moves up. I don't know if she'll be a featured player.
I don't even know who that is.
She kind of like does that good like Midwestern mom barbecue
Ashley
kind of like
Padilla?
Character, or like the news anchor.
Oh, her? Yeah, okay, I know her.
And then the last cast member that they kept from last year's new batch that is questionable is Jane Wickline, kind of a nepo baby.
I don't think she's funny at all.
She's not that funny, and her dad wrote for the show, and I think that's just why she's here. So
I think her fans are it's very divisive, because I see people online, they're always like, "This is hilarious, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen," and a lot of people are like, "What the fuck am I watching? This is not good."
I get the type of humor, it's just not for me. And like I said, I really think she's just still here because of her connections to the show, because that's not the first time SNL has operated that way.
She does have a great bit. I think it's on Weekend Update with Marcelo Hernandez, where it's like the couple that you question is why they're together, and she's like really shy, and he's like, "Yeah, go baby, go," and she's like, "Yeah, I just like horses." And
yeah, that is a good bit. But again, that's like a lot on Marcelo Hernandez's. Like he really bloomed into one of the stars. He really bloomed into one of the stars last season. So now that's the people returning. Now the new ones. I'm gonna save like the biggest new one for last. So just a few comedians. I've heard of two of them. The other two, the two I haven't heard of, Tommy Brennan and Jeremy Colleen.
Yeah, I've never heard of either
coming
of
to the
them.
cast, so we'll see how good they are. Cam Patterson, I've heard of him before. I don't really know him, but I heard he did very well on TikTok. Like he went viral.
He was on
Um,
Kill Tony. Do you remember? You know Tony Hinchcliffe?
yeah,
He was that guy
yes,
who said like Puerto Rico's a trash island or something.
yeah, I remember that.
Um, he has a show where he gets like
I remember Kill
people.
Tony.
Yeah. So he gets people to come on, and that's where they're like introduced as comedians. It's like unknown people go on, and if they like, if Tony and the dais or whatever they like the comedian, then they move on and they become more famous. And Cam Patterson comes from that. His first real big thing was Kill
Wow.
Tony, and they loved him. So then he became famous on TikTok and all this stuff. And I think he's hilarious.
Yeah, I didn't know that part. That's really cool.
Yeah.
The other one, Veronica Slowakowska, she also got pretty big on TikTok and was like a lot of people. Apparently, last couple years, she's had a strong case to join the cast, so she
She's
gets the call.
she's in season 2 of Tires. She's pretty funny.
I heard that. Yeah, I thought no, she's in both seasons. I thought, or is she
I
just?
think
in...
it's just the second season.
Oh, I still haven't seen it, but I do remember hearing she was in it.
Yeah.
And then the last one, you know him, Ben Marshall, gets promoted to the cast from
Oh,
Please Don't Destroy. So that's the biggest news. They're breaking up Please Don't Destroy.
I heard Martin's still gonna write.
Martin's
John
staying as
is
a writer.
gone.
John is out, and Ben moves up into a cast, which I love to see him on the cast because I'm not surprised that it's him moving up to the cast.
He's my favorite.
He's been showing up in other projects too. He was in season 2 of Poker Face. He was I saw him somewhere else too, actually, another movie or something. But so it's really cool to see him get this spotlight in the cast. I don't like that they're breaking up Please Don't Destroy, obviously, but apparently John was like leaving on his own. I don't think that was like, I don't know. Maybe not, but like, they're all doing their own things now, and I'm gonna miss those sketches.
He's the only one. Ben is the only one who's not a nepo baby.
Yeah, I know
funny.
he isn't, and that's what's funny that he makes it to the cast.
Yeah. No, I do. I'm gonna miss Please Don't Destroy. That was for a while my favorite part of every episode of SNL. I think my favorite SNL sketch of all time, not of all time, of the last like 10 years, is Bad Bunny as Shrek for the Please Don't Destroy.
Yeah,
that
was
is
really
so
good.
good.
Yeah,
I
it
love
definitely
it
was
so
like this
much.
generation's Lonely Island. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
exactly.
Or like the newer generations. I mean,
So
we grew
they'll
up
be
with the
missed.
Lonely Island, but
Yeah.
it'll be interesting. So, what do you think of the cast as a whole? Coming back season 51.
They got some stars. I mean, I don't think any of the new people are going to be really standouts. I have a feeling that some of the new people are going to be gone after the first year, just like what just happened. I can't imagine Cam staying on long. It's not his type of humor. He says fuck every 3 seconds. He says the N-word every 2 seconds. He cannot, like, he's just, and he talks about like his dick, and like he's that kind of guy. Like the same reason Shane Gillis got like kicked off of SNL for like saying a slur, I feel like is what's going to happen to Cam Patterson.
But I
It's
also
just,
think they learned from Shane Gillis a little bit because they've even had him back on to host twice now.
I think so, but I don't think Cam Patterson this is his type of humor. I think he's hilarious,
Okay.
but I don't think his type of I guess network or whatever you would call it, like his surroundings. I don't think this is the type of environment for him. I think he shines really where he can fully be himself. So I don't know if he's going to stick around long. And then the rest of the cast, I'm glad that everyone who's staying, besides Jane Wickline, I don't love her, but everyone else staying I love. So I'm happy with it.
That's why when people we talked about this at one other point on the show when we've talked about SNL. People say like there was a downtime with the cast, but I think they've found a nice, like, tell me that this isn't a solid core of, in terms of like their, so obviously Keenan,
Yeah.
but like Bowen Yang, Ego Wodum, Marcello, James Austin Johnson kind of make up, and Sarah Sherman, I would say, kind of make up this like really strong core of their cast that are very funny, very dynamic, have a lot of range.
Yeah, Ego Wodum.
Yeah, I thought I said her.
Maybe.
She's definitely. And then, of course, Colin and Michael are like behind the desk. They're a different thing. But in terms of the sketches, like that's a really solid nucleus right there. And I think Ben is going to, I think Ben and Veronica are the two that are going to have the biggest. It's hard for a featured player, which is like the first years or second years, they have before they elevate you to the main cast. It's going to be hard. It's always hard for the featured players to have a big impact. But Ben Marshall, one, has the step up because of his notoriety and his history writing for the cast. but I think him and Veronica are going to really prove a lot this year with their comedic chops.
Yeah,
I'm
I
very
think
excited.
Ben's gonna shine for sure.
SNL 50 was awesome. It had a lot of great episodes, a lot of great sketches. It brought a lot of attention back to the show. I think this news of the cast update has brought attention back to the show, and I think people, Lorne likes to give people something to look forward to for the next season, and I think we have something to look forward to for season 51.
I think you're right. And with that, we're moving on to our last thing of the day, classic Seesaw.
Dude, I fucking forgot about Seesaw. I was like, all right, that's the episode.
Don't forget. It's been a week, but we're back and we're doing some Seesaw.
You're right. We do have some Seesaw to do.
Why don't you start us off? You've been gone for a little bit, and I did the other review first. I think you should start us off with your Seesaw.
You sure? Marty and Willie are right here. Okay.
You know what? You're the new Marty. I think I'm the new Willie.
So you die in 31 days because you were too stupid and ignorant to wear a jacket?
If I became president, there's no doubt in my mind I'd die in less than 31 days.
Oh, you're like, I'm breaking that record. Challenge
yeah, there's no doubt in my mind. Day one inauguration, I'm blowing my own head off. In front of everybody.
Dude, that would be kind of iconic. Actually.
How crazy would that be if the president's getting sworn in and then immediately blows their head off?
Everyone would just be like, my fellow Americans. We're all just sitting there like,
my fellow Americans, check this shit out.
Yeah, like
scar every American for life.
Okay, so Seesaw.
No, we don't condone suicide. Don't do that.
Seesaw.
It's not funny.
Jeez, we're canceling ourselves.
Yeah.
Something you saw, something you see. I'll start with something I saw. I didn't see a lot because I was on my trip this past week, and two of the only things I saw was Jaws and Caught Stealing, which we already talked about. But I did see something last night. Yesterday was the first Sunday of the NFL season. Football is back, America. Don't worry. We got our football back. The gridiron is hot, and I'm excited, even though my team, the Browns, lost in heartbreaking fashion, and my fantasy teams both lost. That's okay because football's back, and I'm excited. So I needed to watch something to kind of get me in that mood. I know I watched The Underdogs, but that sucked. I needed something that was a little better. So I watched a movie that I'd never seen before called Rudy, starring Sean Astin, and basically the film is it's apparently based on a true story of this like little guy who grew up in this steel mill town, and he's always dreamt of playing football for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, but he wasn't athletic enough, he wasn't smart enough, and he didn't have the money to do it or the connections. And he basically, like, the movie showcases him like fighting his way, like getting a job, building up his money, his grades, like trying to be good enough to play even one game for Notre Dame. And the movie was just so inspiring. Yes, it lacked a little bit in like football scenes, and that was the whole point in a sense, but it was just such an inspiring and like genuine movie. And like, I loved it. It was super uplifting. Sean Astin is very easy to root for in this movie. And like, there's nothing that stands out about it, but it's just great. It's just a very easy watch and an enjoyable watch. And just like Rudy, just like the central character. So that's something I saw.
Dude, that Bills Ravens game was fucking crazy, by the way.
Dude, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That fucking
Josh Allen.
There's a graphic. I just want to say there's a graphic that goes around online on football Twitter of all the like score bugs of the games the Ravens had to lead in late on and they lost. I mean, they were up by 15 with like 5 minutes to go. Lamar Jackson gets the ball with 1:40 and gives it back to Josh Allen with 1:33. What the fuck?
Insane
Sorry.
game.
I know it's not a sports podcast, but I just mini rant.
I had to mention why I talk about football. Go ahead.
Mini rant. And staying on the football train, something that I want to see soon is a movie directed by Oliver Stone, who did that Doors movie with Val Kilmer. We've talked about Val Kilmer on this show. It's called Any Given Sunday. So like, there's a whole mantra that, fans of football go by, that anything can happen on any given Sunday. Any team can win. Like, yeah, this team's better than that, whatever. But like, Daniel Jones and the Colts can drop 30 in like the first half. You never know. So this movie, it stars Al Pacino and Cameron Diaz, James Woods, and Dennis Quaid, and it's about a star quarterback who gets knocked out of the game, and they have to bring in an unknown third stringer who ends up being like really good, and now the coach has to reevaluate like his approach to the game and life itself. and it like also apparently showcases like the co-owner of the team dealing with the pressure of winning. And I'm like, that sounds like a really cool. The only reason I chose Rudy over that is because it was Rudy's much shorter, and I was like, I didn't feel like watching that long of a movie. But Any Given Sunday sounds like a really cool, like kind of thrilling drama
Mm-hmm.
about football and this idea. It's almost like the Tom Brady story. You think about Drew Bledsoe was the quarterback for the Patriots. He gets hurt. In comes Brady. The rest is history.
Yeah.
So I find that like to be such a cool synopsis, and that's something that's on my watch list that I want to see very soon.
So something that I want to see, and I'm gonna see it next week actually, is The Long Walk.
Mm-hmm.
I've been seeing trailers for it. I don't really know much about it. I know it's based on a Stephen King novel where you just have to, if you're like a prisoner or a soldier or something, I don't really know. You just walk until you're the last one. Oh, it's to make money. I think there's a prize if you're the last one walking. You make money. So basically, if you stop walking or you go under a certain amount miles per hour, you just get shot and killed by Mark Hamill. Um, it seems cool. I do like that. I heard Stephen King has final say for like the script and also for the casting. Like in his contract, he is the guy who decides pretty much everything. Because I think he had some issues in the past with not really liking how his stuff was adapted.
Well, also this movie, I'm pretty sure this story is the first one he ever wrote, actually, when he was like
Really?
15 or something.
Oh shit! So
And
this is like
there were
his
changes he
baby.
wanted to, like, I read that he was like, it has to be 3 miles an hour, not 4 miles an hour, because statistically you could not keep up 4 miles an hour, he said.
Oh.
Like, there was some detail to it that he was like, I didn't think of that at the time, but we have to make that change to make
Yeah,
it
yeah.
more, like, I guess, accurate or logical.
Okay, that's cool, and it's not a huge change, so that's cool.
Right. Did
Um,
you see real quick while we're on this movie the screening where everyone at the screening was watching the movie and they had to walk 3 miles an hour on a treadmill the whole time, and if they stopped at any point, they were escorted out of the theater
holy
and
shit,
they
no,
couldn't finish
that's
the movie?
crazy. I would fail, obviously. Like,
No, apparently every single person passed.
I guess it's walking, but it's like 2 hours of walking. I'd just be so exhausted. But I'd want to see the movie, so I'd have to do it.
It's also like brisk. I don't know. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because in the
But
movie they're obviously walking for like hundreds of miles.
well, I wonder
Um,
if you had to like pass a certain physical to be able to even do it in the first
yeah,
place or something.
maybe.
I don't know, but
And something that I saw, I saw Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. It's the fourth Pirates of the Caribbean movie. I have been very adamant about not watching the fourth and fifth one because I've heard such horrendous things about them, and I love this franchise. The first three is one of the best trilogies ever made. The second movie, Dead Man's Chest, is one of my it's top 15 movies of all time for me, probably. I love this franchise, and I refuse to watch the fourth and fifth. And then finally, I've been talking to people, I've been looking online, and I've heard people say the fourth one sucks. It's pretty set that the fourth one is terrible, but I heard that the fifth one is worth seeing. So I watched the fourth one because I want to watch the fifth one, and they were right. The fourth one does suck. So I'm gonna watch the fifth one eventually. I didn't want to make that my C because it's like both Pirates movies, my C and my Saw. But I'm gonna see the fifth one eventually. But the fourth one was actually so bad. They went from Jack Sparrow being this like he's lucky, yeah, but he's also calculated with his escapes. Doing the ropes and jumping between ships and all this crazy stuff that he does in the first three movies. You always thought like there's a little bit of luck to it, but that he planned that. In this one, he's like a drunk, bumbling idiot. All his escapes are just luck. He has no idea what's going on half the time. They're also all impossible. Like there was always sort of a bit of reality with the other ones in the first three movies, and in this one, like he literally becomes Spider-Man at one point and cuts a rope and flies between trees. He pulls a tree so far back and launches himself off the tree like 30 feet without knowing where he was gonna go, and just softly lands in another tree. And it's like so stupid. I don't even know if you've ever seen this movie, but I thought it was so bad.
no, I've only seen the originals because those aren't done by Gore Verbinski, right? There's someone else.
I have no idea who made this movie.
Yeah, I
Whoever
don't think
did
it's Gore.
shouldn't be making movies. You're talking about who directed it?
Yes, because he did
The
the originals.
It was directed by Rob Marshall.
Oh, I actually the only thing I can think of off the top of my head is that guy did the live action Little Mermaid movie. For
I
some
don't.
reason, I know that.
Well, there were mermaids in this movie. They were actually pretty cool. But everything else, Fountain of Youth, Blackbeard, stupid. But I want to see the fifth one, so I had to sit through this one.
Fair enough. Whew. Well, exhale. That was a lot, but we got through it. Everyone's still with us here at the end
Yeah,
of this episode.
I hope so.
So that's that. Well, we're back, and like we've said, we hope to stay on a regular track of schedule.
We'll do our
If
best.
we'll do, especially with getting clips back out there and being active on the socials. But it's tough. You go away, life happens. But that's it for today. So if you liked what you heard, what you saw, please subscribe and follow us on all of our socials. We're on Spotify, we're on YouTube, we're on Instagram, we're on TikTok at Box Office Dynasty, and probably somewhere else too. Just Google it; you'll probably fucking find us.
You'll find it.
Share with your fellow friends and film lovers. And yeah,
We love you guys. Thank you for watching.
we'll see you next week.
Peace.